Hello, I'm Michelle Pendleton, and this is my studio where I get inspired, make something from that inspiration, and usually make a mess in the process. Today's inspiration is a post on Pro-Stitcher Posse by Melissa. She asked, Pro-Stitcher designer question. I'd like to move the start and end point on this design I created. I've read that splitting the line will create a new start and end at that point. That didn't work for me. I also saw someone recommend splitting the line, then make a small edit in the desired location. I tried that and it worked once. I then made some more changes to the design, which moved the start and end. Now I can't get it to move back where I want it. Any help is appreciated. I created the design, and I think I have a couple of solutions for the issue. So let's go to Pro Stitcher Designer.
I have recreated Melissa's design. And when I created it, it goes in the path that she wants. So it starts in this upper left, and then it comes down, goes across to the right, does the up and down, goes back to the left, and finishes this up and down. I went ahead and also, if we go to the edit points, I have put the start and stop in the middle, and where she wants it is in the upper left corner. Now, the first thing when I started playing around with this is the start and stop are because it's a split line, the start and stop are separated. Now, normally, if I bring those 2 points together, it's going to close the shape. And in this case, it has not done that. And I'm not sure why. Okay, so now I guess I had to click off of it and click back on it. So right now it is a closed shape. If I click on this, it's going to move that start and stop point exactly together. Having it as a closed shape actually makes a big difference because if I come over to this upper left point, and if let's Z to zoom, we'll click in. Now if I go here and I split the line, because it's a closed shape, and if we click on the edit points, you can see now over here, it's just a regular node. If I right click on this and I delete the point, it's just that regular node. And then if we go to the preview and change this to a, put that on stitches and put it on stitch out. And let's speed it up a little bit. You can see it goes to the right, makes that up and down, comes back over to the left, does the up and down. So with the closed shape, it will, all you have to do is right click on the spot where you want the new start and end and tell it that you want to split the line at that point, but it has to be a closed shape. So over here, I have a copy of this file. And if you look at this, and I'm not gonna move it because I don't want to close the shape. So it's the same design. If I come over here and let's see to zoom, and we'll come over, I'm going to right click on that node and I'm going to split the line. Okay, you can see over on the right side in my sequence, I now have two pieces of artwork. And that's because this was not a closed shape. So what it was is a line. And when I split the line, it says, oh, okay, you want two different lines. So if we change the color so that we can see what's going on, I'm going to leave number one blue, but I'm going to turn number two red. So what you can see is it starts up here on the upper left, and then it comes over and it finishes that red line, and then it makes the rest of the shape blue, but it is two distinct shapes. Because they're so close together, you wouldn't see a jump because the endpoint on this red shape is at the same spot as the start point on the blue shape. Now, what you would think you could do is just take these two shapes. So hold down the control key, click on both of the shapes and do control T to put them together. But what happens is if you go to the edit points, there's that start and stop right in where it was before. Like, why did it do that? And it's gotta be something with the way it's programmed because I tried, so if we saw, if you remember where it was before, that first shape, the end point was right here and the start point of the other shape was there. So it's not because the start and end points were right on top of each other. I tried, adjusting start and end points. It has something to do with the programming, and I don't know what that specific thing is. So if I come back in here and I split the line and zoom back out, whoops. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to come back and do that again because I hit the wrong thing. So I'm going to split the line. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, so now I've got my two pieces of artwork. And again, we're going to just change that second one so we can see the difference between the two. So normally when you're connecting, Pro-Stitcher Designer is going to connect the two spots that are closest together. But because all of the points, both the starts and the ends of both of these shapes are on top of one another, it doesn't know which one to make the start and which one to make the end. So in this case, I want the ending part to be over here. And so here's how you can work around and make sure that it does what you want. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go to my edit tool, and I'm going to go to the blue because that's where I want it to end. And I'm going to go to that endpoint and I'm just going to move it off. I am currently not worried about any kind of angles or that kind of thing because as long as I've actually changed all of these points to line points. So it's going to stay straight no matter what. So now if I go back out, so I'm going to hit the space bar so I can see everything. I'm going to take my artwork number 2, hold down the control key, click my artwork number 1, control T to connect them. And now, because this spot here, those two spots were the closest together, that's where it connected. I still have this open spot over here. So we're going to Z to zoom. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to go to the edit points and I'm going to bring this down. And then we're going to make sure that it's actually a closed shape, and it is. So now that it's done that, if I go to the preview, select this, add some stitches, tell it to stitch out. Okay, so it's right now it's backwards because that start and end point are going the opposite direction. So I'm going to come back in here, turn the stitch out off. I'm going to go ahead and change that back to artwork. We're going to go to the tools. We're going to swap the start and end point. Go to preview, put some stitches on it, stitch out. So now it's going in the path that Melissa wanted. So the two things, first of all, if it's a closed shape, you can do that right click and split line, and that will move your start point as long as it's a closed shape. If it's not a closed shape, then if you do the split line, you are going to have to reconnect the different pieces. But wherever the ending point is that you want, you should move the line just a little bit so that way it connects at so it doesn't connect at the point that you didn't want it to start with. I hope that makes sense. So those are two different ways that you can do it. And again, if you've got it as a closed shape, you're in great shape. It's not a problem. If it's not a closed shape and you have to connect it, that's where you can start running into a little bit of an issue.
So, Melissa, I hope that helps you get your design to stitch out in the way that you want it to. That's all for today, but I will see you soon in my messy studio.